Hello, this is Senator Orrin Hatch. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share a few thoughts about violent crime and some of my key legislative efforts to combat this problem that has plagued our state and nation for far too long. My only regret is that I am unable to be with you in person on this special day, which is a fundraiser for a worthy cause, to provide free services and support for the victims of violence and to promote anti-violence mentoring programs. Anyone who watches the nightly news or reads a newspaper knows that violence is a pervasive problem. We see and read heart-rending accounts of senseless violence all the time. Most recently in Norway, 6 months ago closer to home, there was the shooting rampage in Tucson that resulted in the killing of 6 people and wounding of 13 others, including Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. And who can forget the 2007 Trolley Square shooting by a lone gunman right here in Utah that resulted in the death of 5 people and the wounding of 4 others. Violence, however, doesn't just pop up on TV screens or in newspapers. It stalks our streets, infects our neighborhoods and homes, and preys on too many of our families. The examples are legion. Wives being brutalized by husbands, children abused or exploited by their parents or internet predators, youth terrorized by gangs, senior citizens preyed upon by con artists, and citizens attacked by thugs. But unlike the cases reported in the media, far too many of violence's victims, many of them here in Utah, suffer in silence, in quiet desperation, praying for somebody, anybody, to help. They are tired of living in fear, of feeling helpless, of going it alone in their fight or flight against violence, and they want relief. As a United States Senator, I often had the occasion and the privilege to reach out to victims of violence. I've listened to their stories, shared in their tears, marveled at their resilience, and I've come away from those visits with the determination to do everything I can to fight this epidemic. You have all heard the adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That is why my focus as a senior member and a former chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee is to devise strategies to prevent violent crimes and crime victimization. My approach is typically centered on providing more resources for public education and strategy so that we can reduce opportunities for crimes before they are committed. This includes my commitment to working with law enforcement and victims' rights advocates so that many voices are banded together to be heard. For instance, I've been successful in passing the Victims of Crime Act, the Adam Walsh Act, and the Witness Security Act. These legislative initiatives provide Utah's law enforcement professionals with much-needed federal grants to hire additional officers and provide services to crime victims. Examples of my more recent legislative efforts include the Child Protection Improvement Act that I introduced in the 112th Congress. This legislation paves the way for organizations that help children to use the FBI to conduct nationwide background and criminal history checks on people seeking employment in programs that provide care, supervision, treatment, training, instruction, and recreation to children. It would also require the FBI to return the results of those checks within 10 days. This bill provides a pathway for organizations to weed out employees with backgrounds that parents would not want working with their children. It was first authorized by the Adam Walsh Act as a pilot program, which resulted in background checks on 68,000 youth volunteers. Those checks revealed that an alarming 6% of applicants had a criminal history for child sexual abuse, murder, major drug offenses, and other serious problems. The Child Protection Improvement Act of 2011 would make this program permanent. Another bill I introduced recently, the Protecting Children from Internet Predators Act of 2011, provides tougher penalties for child pornography and other sex-related crimes involving children, and gives law enforcement professionals more tools to investigate and prosecute the sexual exploitation of minors. Far too many individuals across the nation are brazenly sharing child pornography without fear of being caught or retribution. The bill sends out a loud and clear message to the perpetrators of these heinous crimes that they can no longer hide behind the cloak of immunity. Included in the legislation is a provision that would make it a crime to financially facilitate access to child pornography. Other key provisions would require Internet providers to retain information such as subscriber network addresses for a minimum of 18 months, expand existing authority to issue administrative subpoenas while investigating federal offenses involving the sexual exploitation or abuse of children, protect child witnesses and victims in criminal investigations from intimidation and harassment, and enhance criminal penalties or sentences for crimes such as child pornography or the sex trafficking of children. Criminal gang activity is another major problem that spawns violence throughout the country. Here in Utah, illegal gang activity affects our neighborhoods and robs our youth of their childhood. To protect communities and strengthen anti-gang education programs, I introduced the Gang Abatement and Prevention Act, which would give federal prosecutors additional tools to charge gang members with federal crimes. It also would strengthen gang education programs to stem the recruitment of our nation's youth into these criminal organizations. On another legislative front, I have continued to protect women's safety by advocating for more legal protection and by creating tougher penalties for perpetrators of domestic violence. For instance, I was a co-sponsor of the Improving Assistance to Domestic and Sexual Violence Victims Act and the Justice for Survivors of Sexual Assault Act. I also pushed for the Violence Against Women Act and its reauthorization in 2011. These bills provide essential services and tools to help protect women and children from domestic and family violence. They provide grants to facilitate prosecutions of domestic violence at the state and local level, as well as to assist in providing medical treatment and counseling services for victims. These efforts have led organizations that serve Utahns, the YWCA, for example, to help more victims of family violence by expanding residential space and other programs to women and children who have suffered in abusive homes. While we have made strides in putting a stop to domestic violence, the struggle continues. Perhaps the often tragic consequences of this crime are nowhere better described than in Grammy Award winner Patty Austin's haunting poem, "I Got Flowers Today," which I would now like to share with you. I got flowers today. It wasn't my birthday or any other special day. We had our first argument last night, and he said a lot of cruel things that really hurt. I know that he is sorry and didn't mean to say the things he said. Because he sent me flowers today, I got flowers today. It wasn't our anniversary or any other special day. Last night he threw me into a wall and started to choke me. It seemed like a nightmare. I couldn't believe that it was real. I woke up this morning sore and bruised all over. I know he must be sorry because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. It wasn't our anniversary or any other special day. Last night he threw me into a wall and then started choking me. It seemed unreal, a nightmare, but you wake up from nightmares. And I woke up this morning sore and bruised all over. But I know he is sorry because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. And it wasn't Valentine's Day or any other special day. Last night he beat me and threatened to kill me. Makeup and long sleeves didn't hide the cuts and bruises this time. I couldn't go to work today because I didn't want anyone to know. But I know he's sorry because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. And it wasn't Mother's Day or any other special day. Last night he beat me again, and it was worse than all of the other times. If I leave him, what will I do? How will I take care of the kids? What about money? I'm afraid of him, but I'm too scared and dependent to leave him. But he must be sorry because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. Today was a special day. It was the day of my funeral. Last night he killed me. If only I would have gathered the courage and strength to leave him. I could have received help from the women's shelter, but I didn't ask for their help. So I got flowers today for the last time. Today I join with you, not only in remembering the victims of violence, but in renewing our commitment to do all that we can to put an end to this crime in all of its insidious forms. It is time to free the oppressed and liberate the captives that are being held hostage by violence. No one should have to live in fear. Thanks to events such as this, which raises funds for the Utah chapter of the International Police and Fire Chaplains Association, Utahns who are the victims of violence won't have to. They will be able to get the services and the help they need. I would like to take this opportunity to salute you, who are first responders in the ongoing struggle. I urge all who are assembled here today to catch the vision of what the IPFCA is about and the tremendous promise it holds for the future by opening your hearts and purse strings and donating generously. Again, thank you for this opportunity to speak to you. May God bless and keep you as you labor on in this critically important cause.